Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to speak about the subject of organic food is not always better. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense if you really think about it, because how many times have advertisements lied to you, right? Do you believe that diamonds are forever? Or was it just a scam that was invented in the late 1930s for people to sell more diamonds? It kind of goes in the same mindset as organic food. And one point of our life, people decided that pesticides and a lot of the chemicals and transforming foods and all that stuff was bad. And yes, I do agree definitely that we should not be using all these crappy pesticides, and that we shouldn't be transforming foods, combining them, biologically altering them and all that crazy stuff. And I don't like Monsanto and all these things. But at the same time, you got to think that even though there's foods that are chemically modified, or GMOs like people say, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, because yes, Monsanto does some crazy things, but everything has been modified chemically at some point. That's the whole nature of evolution, if you really think about it. So if you are wanting something that's organic, what does that mean to you? It basically means that somebody put the seed, or actually not even somebody put the seed, it just blew, that the seed blew from the wind of another tree or another plant, and it just was let to grow, and eventually it grew into some sort of fruit or some vegetable or some fruit or whatever you want to think of. And then you're not even supposed to be adding water, right? Because then if you're adding water, then you're modifying it in some way, right? So you're doing a GMO. I'm exaggerating again, but the thing is that anyways, the farmers who have genetically modified fruits and all that stuff will be right next to the farmers that have all that stuff that is genetically modified. So eating organic or not organic is kind of weird, because you're still going to get chemicals, and maybe not as much, but you will. And then if you really look at it in the same way, and just type it up on Google and stuff like that, look at fruit 200 years ago or 300 years ago, even like 100 years ago, and you're going to see that for example, the watermelon wasn't juicy. It was actually kind of sour. It had a lot of seeds. It didn't have a lot of that pink goodness, and you're going to see it with every kind of fruit, be it the apple, the banana. The banana did not look at all like the banana that we know of. So I think it's okay to modify stuff. I think it's okay if you want to spend a bit more money for organic food. But the thing is, what's funny is that a lot of times there will be vegetables, fruits, and stuff like that are not very popular for a very long time. And then all of a sudden, there's a sort of trend towards that sort of fruit or that sort of vegetables, and people like to combine it with water or whatever it is. It's a new uber, energy efficient giving, celery or whatever it is. And then people are just gonna start increasing the price and slapping an organic thing. But the thing is, you gotta understand is that even organic meat and somebody like those free range meats and all that stuff, they're not really that clean. It just means that they have less chemicals. So it means that when they're giving them shots and stuff like that against X, Y, and Z, they're only allowed to give them maybe 5 shots at the place of 10. But they're still getting all these shots, and they're still eating like crap, and they're not really naturally bred. And yeah, organic is most of the time bullshit. It's just a way for companies to be able to brand it, because also if you look at the food, for example, if you're onto like a farmer's market or whatever it is, if you actually talk to the farmers, really, they might have a section that says organic, and then they're going to have a section that's going to say nothing. You know, it's not going to say organic or not. But if you go, especially during the closing time of like any farmer's market or whatever you like to go to, but usually farmers markets, you're going to see it while they're packing up. They don't want to go back to their farm with the fruit. They know it's not going to last that long. They know they have to sell it, and you can chat with them and stuff like that. And then you're going to see that they're trying to do their best, especially if they're at a farmer's market. They're not trying to put chemicals in their stuff, and even though it's not labeled organic, it's going to be pretty darn good and probably much better than what you're buying at a lot of local stores such as Ralph's and all that. And I always think it's also funny whenever I have people from Europe coming here, they go to the fruit section in America and they tell me, wow, David, this is really your fruit. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with it? And they'll usually say, hey, I mean, this looks like the advertisement. It doesn't look real. And it's true. When you go to Europe, the fruit doesn't look as pretty and stuff like that. And it's kind of scary. And you know very well, I mean, you've probably, or if you don't even know, just YouTube it. For example, for an apple, you can, most of the time they like to add like more color to it, to make it more red or more green or whatever it is. Just run any apple under some lukewarm water and you're going to see that there's a sort of paint that starts going off of the apple. And yeah, you see, we're in a society that doesn't like ugly stuff, right? So we paint it over and make it look pretty, kind of like makeup, right? And then we call it fruit. But then the thing is, it doesn't really rot. A lot of times you can keep an apple outside and a month later it's still edible, which is kind of weird to me, because when you go to Europe, it's not like that. Within a week or so you start seeing the effects of being outside, and it starts getting wrinkly and all that stuff. So yeah, it's we live in a very strange society, I'm going to say. And it's not because something is labeled organic that it's necessarily organic. It's kind of like that city in China that decided to call itself USA, so that when they put on the label where it's made from, because that's the legal way that they have to do it, they don't have to say made in China, they can say made in USA, because at least that way they can get around that system, if that makes sense, because then they're not really lying. It was made in the city of USA, just not in the United States of America. But anyways, that's my little rant of the day. And research more, but I do think that if you really want to eat healthy, probably the best way to do it is go to your local farmers, go to the farmers markets and stuff like that. You'll be helping them out too. It might be a slight bit more expensive, but not really. Don't buy your fruits and stuff in regular supermarkets. That's the only way to eat healthy. And don't look so much at organic, non-organic. If they're at the farmers market, they're pretty much going to be legit. I think they're trying to do good products, and they're usually very proud of their stuff.